Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, Do Ministry Gaming, and today we're going to be talking about the Path of Exile Legion mechanic. So, as you map, you're going to come across these timeless monoliths, and when you interact with one, a bunch of monsters are going to spawn around the monolith. Now, they're going to be frozen when they spawn, and you're going to have a short time, I think it's about 15 seconds, to kill as many as you can in the frozen state. And when the timer runs out, any that you did kill in the frozen state are going to come to life, and you're going to have to kill them again. And once you do, they're going to drop a lot of items, including some Legion-specific items. There's also going to be some chests that you might find in the frozen monolith that you can kill as well, that you can open once it comes to life. So now I'm just going to quickly do this monolith as an example to show you what that's going to be like. So I've interacted with monolith. There's the 15 seconds. Here's the frozen monsters. Now they spawn 360 degrees around the monolith, so make sure you run around and kill as many as you can. They do stretch out pretty far and wide, as you can see, but if you do manage to kill them ahead of the timer, they are going to spawn or come to life early if you manage to kill all of them, so just be prepared for that. But if you're able to get all of them anyway, you're probably already prepared to kill them all again. But anyway, as you saw there, the timer went up and then all the monsters came to life. I'm still killing the ones that have come to life. All right, so I've wrapped that up here now, and here as an example of a Legion chest. Now these spawn also in the frozen state, and they do have a health bar. You do have to kill it in order for it to spawn after the frozen state, but if you did, you'll see some of these around. They're going to have different icons on top of them, denoting sort of different rewards. As you can see, that was the currency one, so a bunch of currency related items have dropped. Here's another one over here called the Maraketh chest, and I just want to show you this because there's some items that are specific to the Legion encounters that can drop. The first are the Splinters, and the other are these Incubators. And I'm going to describe to you what these are back in the hideout. All right, so we're back in my hideout now, and I'm just going to describe to you what those items that we just picked up are that are specific to the Legion mechanic. So the first are these Incubators that I have in my inventory. These are the ones I picked up inside the map there. As you can see, there are different types denoted by the different icons. Now, what these Incubators are is you can use them on your items. Okay, I'm just going to use this talisman one on my glove, for example. And what it says is now it's an incubating a talisman item, and you can see at the bottom of the item 0 out of 4,374 at level 68 plus monster kills. Long story short, you kill that many level 68 plus monsters, a talisman item is going to drop. Now you can apply one incubator on each piece of item, corrupted or not, it doesn't matter. Every item can take one incubator. So if I take this map one, for example, it shows you even before you use it how many monsters you need to kill. But if I use that on my belt now, you can see incubating map item. I use the scarab one on my boots, incubating scarab item. It's just a way of giving you nice little rewards as you kill monsters along the way. And that's all there is to it. The other item that dropped were the Splinters. Now, I've got this fragment stash tab open. It is a premium stash tab, so by no means do you need to have this for any of this to work, but it is a nice way to organize your drops from Legion as well as other mechanics. Now, I'm just going to focus your attention to sort of these two rows here on the right side. These are the only Legion related items. Everything else on this tab is for a different mechanic. You can see these are the Splinters that we picked up. There's 5 different colors or different types along the bottom here. And it's really quite simple. You collect 100 of one of these, and you're going to make the corresponding emblem, which are these ones at the top. Now, what these emblems do is you put them into your map device to spawn a special Legion-specific map. And it says on the emblems themselves, you have to put 2 or more emblems in. So I'm just going to show you an example of what one of these maps looks like. So I'm just going to put 2 in here, and we're going to run the map. All right, so we're in the map now. It is called a Domain of Timeless Conflict, and it is just a big donut. It's a big circle map. And you'll notice here is there's this big sort of rock right in the middle with sort of an aura around it. Now, to start the map, you have to stand in that aura for a little bit, and you can see there's a timer here now, 2.5 minutes for this particular map. And just like a monolith, a lot of monsters have spawned around, except this time they spawn alive versus frozen, and when you kill them, they kind of freeze or die or go away. Also, there's also bosses that kind of spawn around the map. They kind of spawn left, right, top, bottom, depending on how many you are. Now, if you've killed everything, or if you haven't, but you want to reset the monsters, you just come back to the middle here, and you stand in the little aura, and as you can see, it just spawned a whole new set of monsters. And basically, the idea is you just kill as many monsters as you can within the time limit of this map. So generally speaking, you kind of go in a circle, and these bosses maybe sometimes are hard to kill, so you don't have to kill them. You can just reset. A lot of people just kill a bunch of the rares around and then go and reset. Now, what happens when you kill monsters is, if you notice along the bottom here, you're building up reward. So maybe you'll notice that as I kill monsters here, especially it has to be the ones with the rare ones with the icons on top of them, or this guy here. This is a boss on the right here. He's got the currency icon. I killed it, and I've got a currency reward at the end there stacking up. And I just killed a item guy and a weapon guy, and so on and so forth. And so basically, the faster you can kill monsters in this time frame, the more rewards you're going to stack up. And when you've completed, or when the timer has run out, all of these rewards are going to spawn in the middle here. Alright, so the map is ending now, and we're going to just come back to the middle, and as you can see, all of these items are now dropping, all of these rewards. And that's all there is to it for this map. Alright, so I'm back in my hideout again, and there's just one thing I want to mention with the emblems before we move on here. In my map device, you may have noticed that I have 5 sockets for maps and fragments and scarabs, or whatever you want to put in here, instead of the default 4. And the way I get that is, when you get these emblems, when you do 4 at a time, the very first time you do 4 at a time and complete the map, you're going to get that 5th slot in the map device as a reward. Alright, so there's one final thing I want to talk about when it comes to the Legion mechanic, and I think this is probably the most interesting part of the Legion mechanic, and that is these timeless jewels. I've got 3 different ones here: Glorious Vanity, Lethal Pride, and Brutal Restraint. There's also 2 more called Militant Faith and Elegant Hubris. Now, these timeless jewels are drops from the Domain of Timeless Conflict map that you just saw me run. I didn't drop one in the demo, but they do drop there. These are jewels that go into jewel sockets in your passive tree. You can only have one of these at any given time, no matter what the type is. All these jewels function the same, but I'm going to explain how they work. So I'm just going to look at this Glorious Vanity here. Just to focus on the first line here: bathed in the blood of 3,454, sacrifice in the name of Zebaqua. Now, for each one of these jewels, there's going to be a number and a name. Okay, that first line is always going to be structured this way, but there's always going to be a number and a name. Those are the 2 things you need to know. And for each jewel type, you can roll 3 different names. So for the Glorious Vanity, you can not only roll Zebaqua, but you can also roll Awana and then also Doriani, which is not, for some reason, in the bracket there when I hold Alt. And for the Lethal Pride, you can roll Akom, Akoya, and Rakiata, etc., etc. So there's always 3 names that you can roll for each type of timeless jewel. And for the number, the Glorious Vanity, for example, can roll 100 to 8,000, okay? Any number in between that range. So there's always a number and a name. And I'm going to explain what those are. The name, if I put this jewel into this, I'm going to put it into this empty socket right in the middle here. You're going to see that I've got this keystone allocated right now. It's called Eternal Youth. This is the default keystone. Now, if I put this timeless jewel in here, you're going to see this circle around it, just like all the other special types of jewels. And the keystone that's inside the jewel has now changed to Divine Flesh, which is something completely different and unique to the timeless jewels. Now, every Glorious Vanity jewel that rolls Ziba Qua is going to change the keystone that it touches into Divine Flesh, no matter where you put it on the tree, okay? So for example, if I took this Timeless Jewel and I put it down here at the bottom, it has changed this keystone into Divine Flesh, the exact same new keystone, whereas it used to be Iron Grip, okay? So no matter where you put this, the keystone it touches will turn into Divine Flesh if it's a Ziba Qua jewel. Now, the number is where everything else inside the circle can change. So 3,454, this current jewel, is going to make these nodes. Oh, by the way, these nodes were strength nodes. 10 strength, 10 strength, 10 strength, 10 strength. If I put the jewel in there, these nodes are now 12 lightning damage, 7 evasion rating, 10 spell damage, block spell damage. And as a matter of fact, every node in here has changed to something different and random. Even the notables, okay? These are all different now. And what the numbers are, if I take another jewel, I happen to have another one here. This is Ziba Qua 372 instead of 3454, okay? If I put this exact similar jewel in with a different number, because it's Ziba Qua, the keystone stays the same. It's a Divine Flesh. However, all of these now have changed. This is now spell damage, attack speed, aura effect, chaos resistance, and every small node in here has changed. Now, if I re-rolled this to another number, even 373, everything in this circle changes again. So the idea is that there's a very large number of permutations and combinations, making these jewels completely unpredictable other than the keystone. And the idea behind that, I think, is that they want you to get excited about finding that perfect jewel that has both the keystone that you want and some exciting small nodes for you to take on. Now, if I take the same type of jewel, Glorious Vanity, except this one, I've got a third jewel here, is Ahuana. If I put that in here, this keystone is no longer turned into Divine Flesh. It is now completely different, called Immortal Ambition. So every name of every jewel type is going to have a different keystone. Okay, so if I put Lethal Pride in here, for example, Comb is going to change this keystone into Strength of Blood. All right, everybody, that should be everything you need to know to at least get started with the Legion mechanic. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found the video useful, and if you did, please like and subscribe. I also stream on Twitch Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Times are in the description below. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.